According to the Broward Sheriff's Office, suspected school shooter Nicholas Cruz entered Building 12 at Stoneman Douglas High School at 2:21 p.m. 15 seconds later, he started firing. Dispatchers in Coral Springs started receiving first-hand calls from the school about 1 minute later, BSO says. School Resource Officer Scott Peterson got on his radio a short time later at 2:23 p.m., 1 minute and 53 seconds after the first shots were fired.
We have possible, could be firecrackers. I think we got shots fired. Possible shots fired. 1200 building.
Seconds later, Peterson's first command is to shut the area down.
Julian 3, make sure we get some units over here. I need to shut down Stoneman Douglas, the intersection.
While Cruz was firing inside the school, a deputy from the middle school next door who's responding to the scene asked if they had a description on the shooter. At this point, other deputies arrived, and there's confusion.
Tango 2, I hear shots fired by the football field. Shots fired by the football field.
This is now 4 minutes into the bloodshed, and Peterson continued to make decisions.
Get the school locked down, gentlemen.
Despite the confusion about where the shots were coming from, Peterson reiterated seconds later, nearly 4.5 minutes since the violence began, that the shooting appears to be in the 1200 building.
All right, 26, so we also heard it over by inside the 1200 building.
Multiple deputies are on scene at this point, but the confusion about where the shots are emanating from continued.
1784, we definitely have shots being fired.
Then Peterson made another call to dispatchers about keeping everyone away from the 1200 building where Cruz was and where students and teachers lay dead and wounded. This is estimated to be about 5 seconds after Cruz left the building.
Do not approach the 12 or 1300 building. Stay at least 500 feet away at this point.
By this time, it's not clear how long the shots had stopped being fired, which might have changed the type of law enforcement response, but more deputies arrived. There's chaos as students are leaving the building, and deputies are now talking about responding to an active shooter.
Set up for an active shooter response when you get back to 7.
A deputy responded to a victim as Cruz left the school with other students, hoping to blend in.
I have the gunshot victim. He's by the entrance to Westglades on the west side of the school. Jerry, does he know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're entering the building in front of the 13th building, building 13. We need to get units in here so we can start trying to find this guy.
By now, Cruz had been gone from the school for several minutes, and the district commander of Parkland, Captain Jan Jordan, is first heard. She's been criticized for calling for a perimeter at the scene, but the radio calls show the shooting was over and the Cruz left the building, although it's not clear that Jordan knew that information.
I know there's lots going on. Do we have the perimeter set up right now and everybody clearing out of the school?
BSO Colonel Jack Dale addressed the perimeter issue.
Deputies are unsure of the location of the shooter or the numbers of shooters. So when Captain Jordan asked the question if there is a perimeter set in an attempt to contain the individual, that was a reasonable question.
He also spoke about the deputy's decision not to enter the building.
They did not go into the 1200 building initially because they were dealing with the possibility of shots fired on the exterior of the building and into the football field.